Ondine's Flute was a piece I wrote in 2012. It served a couple of different purposes for me as a piece. It was one of the first few pieces that I wrote as an expression of this modal system that I had developed. It's a system of 10 different modes, and they're all based on a principle of tonal symmetry. And this is what I eventually did my dissertation about. Symmetry in music, to me, is in and of itself symbolic. Because it's symbolic of balance. It's symbolic of all the parts of things being in a harmony. If you believe that music has an effect upon the world, upon consciousness, working with this kind of pitch symmetry, to me, is tied symbolically to wishing the world into a better sense of balance. Dieter has some uncanny speed on the instrument, and Dieter was able to take a little bit more liberty with the rhythmic aspect of the piece so that he could do his own interpretation. It was wonderful to hear these different phrases, played through like that so seemingly effortlessly.
Normally, a flute builder tries to build the instrument in a way that it delivers all the chromatic tones in a homogeneous color. And when you have to do quarter tones, it's quite challenging to find the quarter tones in the same color the other tones on the flute have. But the way I intended the piece, it's somehow obvious. There are places where the quarter tones are really some dirt in the sound, and there are other spots where they just occur like normal tones.
So as I was developing this theory to work with as a composer, this is one of the modes that I discovered, and it's a mode that I strongly associated with water symbolically. Ondine is actually one of the names for the mermaid, which is considered to be like the symbolic creature that, they say that represents the spiritual aspect of water as an element. And I wrote the piece while having kind of a visualization in my mind of a mermaid sitting on a rock formation in the middle of the ocean playing a flute. So the idea I had in writing Ondine's Flute was an expression of water's love for humanity and for all life, and that the piece would also be an expression of how humanity is failing to protect water. We've got oceans of plastic polluting our waterways, we're overfishing, we have catastrophes like the water problem in Flint, Michigan. I've been influenced by so many different kinds of music over the years, but being a composer helps me to sort of unify everything under one banner. So all those influences come into play when I'm writing, but it's also the music, for me, is an expression of philosophy. I believe that classical music, and why I'm drawn to it in terms of the writing, is because it's not just about the emotional component, that classical music is an expression of great ideas. I seek ways of being able to express or represent those things musically when I compose.